Hey there, welcome back to Tenille Talks. If you're just joining us, we have grown tremendously in the past couple of days. And so if you're joining our space, we welcome you and we thank you for being here with us. To begin this reading, we really need to sit in the energy of lust. This is about somebody who lusted after something so much so that they did not consider the consequences of what they were getting themselves into. When we're talking about lust, we're talking about having a strong craving. This is a hunger for anything, but the desire is so powerful that you just gotta have it. The craving is so deep. Now, the issue with lust is that it can lead you to impulsive decision making, where the immediate satisfaction of your desires overshadows your consideration of long-term consequences. So when I get to this point in the reading, I start to kind of envision a high-rise luxury apartment building. Now, when you're looking at the floors of the apartment building, if we're going to talk about high demand, the floor that a lot of people in modern day society, the floor that a lot of people are going to want to live on is going to be the penthouse. Now, the penthouse floor is very expensive, but it is expensive because it offers you things that you cannot receive on other levels. And so we're talking about unique features, location, exclusivity. The penthouse is going to offer you the best views. It's going to give you large living spaces, luxurious amenities, increased square footage. And for all of those reasons, it means that it'll be in high demand. Now, in order to get to the penthouse, in order to rise and fall on the levels of this apartment building, you got to take the elevator. Now, the elevator really represents a choice. Imagine that this person who is led by lust has a desire to live on the penthouse floor. So they step into the elevator, which means they are ready to make a choice in order to get to the penthouse. Now, here's the thing. When you reach out to push the buttons that mark the floor you are trying to ascend to, when you touch the button, you are either going to use your higher or your lower self. Now, your lower self is going to be driven by instincts, emotions, ego, negative thoughts and desires. Your higher self is going to be the part of you that is the purest, the most enlightened, and the wisest part of oneself. This is the part of you that helps you to transcend limitations, and it also embodies your greatest potential. And so every time we want to experience some type of increase, every time we want to do anything in life, we almost are making a choice, and the quality of our choice is like pushing a button. We're either using our higher or our lower self. If this person was led by lust, this is somebody who wanted to rise. They wanted an experience that would transcend some type of limited life that they had been living. But unfortunately, the lust was so loud that they wanted a higher self experience, but they used a lower self type of choice. Now, this person takes a journey. When I'm talking about a journey, I mean, this is somebody typically who travels from one place to the next. A journey is about a process of growth, transformation, and discovery. And so this was a transformative moment for this person, right? They wanted love to begin. And so they're sitting in the energy of recognizing that the emotions in their life have been absent. They're wanting some type of attraction. They're looking for some type of femininity to exist inside of their own energy. They want a shared experience. They want emotional connection. They're essentially wanting their cup to be full. Now, the thing that triggered this person into having this desire to have their cup filled and to live on this penthouse floor is that they crossed paths with an earth angel. Now, right now, this person is sitting in the energy of like sad news. They're getting a message of concern. And it's really because they have received some type of information that is distressing. They have feelings, and the feelings they have are causing them grief and causing them sadness. And so this person essentially took a risk. When I'm talking about a risk, this is like, they literally rolled the dice. This is about a risky attempt to do or to achieve something. But unfortunately, when you take a risk, it means that you also have exposed yourself to danger, harm, or loss. And so The elevator that this person wanted to ride in order to get a penthouse type of experience in their life, it would have been an earth angel. Somebody felt like, well, if I ride this earth angel, I will ascend. I will transform my life and I will be able to have a penthouse type of living experience. They were led by lust. They were led by their desires. And so when they stepped into the elevator, they pushed a button. Now here comes the jinn. I literally have a card that says jinn. So a jinn is an intelligent spirit of lower rank than the angels. And so a jinn has the ability to appear in human or animal form, but it also can possess humans. And so somebody wants love to begin in their life. They want to take this transformative journey. They want to experience an emotional reality that they haven't experienced, but they've been made aware of it because of this earth angel's essence. And so they summon a jinn. They use a jinn in order to possess themselves, but also in order to ride this earth angel to the penthouse floor. This was a risk. They put themselves in harm. And this is exactly why they are sitting in a message of receiving sad news that's giving them grief. Now, this earth angel is also coming out as a privileged lady. Now, you don't have to be a lady, but I'm talking about the femininity that you carry. You can have the body of a male or a female. It really doesn't matter about the identity of your vessel, but I'm talking about the feminine energy that flows through you is what led this person to desire something more. But the quality of their choice that was led by lust has taken them to a state of consequence. Now, here's the thing. This earth angel is here to do the work of the Most High. They have a divine mission and a divine job. When I'm talking about this earth angel being privileged, this is somebody who has advantages. They have opportunities that are not generally available to others. They have some type of favored status. The same person that lusts after the frequency and the vibration of the earth angel uses a jinn in order to summon, attach, or possess the earth angel. But because this earth angel has a rank, a privilege, and a status, that means that any energy you attempt to bind to them, it won't stick. Earth angels have the ability to spiritually cleanse themselves. That means any negativity can be removed. If an earth angel has a self-care ritual, now, the self-care ritual can look like a spiritual bath. It can look like grounding, but it really is some type of symbolic cleansing and purification of the body, mind, and spirit. And so maybe for a period of time, you can attach some type of spiritual dirt or entity or possession on an earth angel. But because they are privileged in status, because they are privileged in rank, they can cleanse, they can purify the body, mind, and spirit. If they attach something to a being that wasn't an earth angel, maybe it would not have been a risk. Maybe when they rolled this dice, they would not have been sitting in a position of harm or loss or grief. Now, this earth angel is also coming up as a fox. When I'm talking about a fox, I'm saying that this earth angel is some type of cunning enigma. Their cleverness is difficult to understand. Do y'all remember that commercial? It was like an elderly gentleman, and he's got on a fishing vest and a fishing pole, and he's standing in a store and he's holding a fishing pole. And at the end of the fishing line, on the hook is $1. And so he's holding the $1 in front of another gentleman, and he wants the gentleman to grab the $1. So he dangles the $1, and the guy goes to grab it, and he says, "You got to be quicker than that." That is like the earth angel. And so oftentimes people would assume that earth angels are inattentive. They're not paying attention. They're slow. But you have summoned something of lower rank. Right? It is a spirit, but it is lower in rank. Yes, it possesses an intelligence. Yes, it has the ability to possess a human. But what you're looking at is not a human. This is an earth angel. This is a divine being with a mission, a calling, a job, an anointing, a rank, a status, a power. And so of all things that you could possibly attach a jinn to possess, you use an earth angel that is always going to outrank. And so this is somebody who steps into the elevator wanting to get to the penthouse, but because of the quality of their choices, they push the button that takes them to the basement. The jinns are going to dwell in the basement. The earth angels are going to reside in the penthouse. I don't care how strong your desire is. I don't care how much lust you have. Every time you push a button and you are led by your lower self, when the elevator doors open, you are always going to be standing in the basement. And so somebody wanted love to begin. They wanted their cup to be full. They wanted to be able to make movements and choices and decisions that really mimicked the pattern of this earth angel. And when I'm talking about an earth angel, listen, you could be living in a shelter. You could be living in your car. You could be living in a tent. You could be living on somebody's couch or somebody's floor. I'm really not talking about the aesthetics of your physical life. I'm talking about the energy that you carry. It is truly out of this world, and it is that way for a divine reason. It is that way because the Most High has said so. And so wanting to get to the penthouse with basement choices or with basement entities or basement spirits is always going to put you in a state where you are suffering some type of consequence. And so you have this person who is thinking. They were hoping, their opinions, their beliefs, their inner reasoning, like all of that was sitting in the energy of hope. Like they were just hoping. Can you imagine trying to possess an earth angel's vessel and then just thinking that your hope and your thoughts is going to be enough to get you the very energy that you've been wanting or lusting to possess? And so somebody really wanted a beautiful transformation to come in their life. They wanted change. They wanted a change in appearance. They wanted a change in their character. They wanted to look like they had improved, right? They wanted to be positively enhanced, but we're talking about a false person. When you summon a jinn or use an entity, this means that you're not sincere. You're not authentic, you're not honest, and you're pretending to be someone you're not. And so they're trying to captivate the energy or the essence of an angel, but they're using a demon, an entity, right? They're using some type of genie that has no rank, no calling, something without a body. You know, it's amazing to me how, demons are always going to be Johnny on the spot, so to speak. Like they will always show up for you. And it's because they have been banished from living in a vessel. And so you literally have to have a human that is so low in their choice or their decision making, meaning like the majority of their decisions, it is coming from their lower self. Every decision is going to come from an instinct, an emotion, an aspect of their ego, a negative thought, or a desire. If that is going to be the energy that you use to make choices, you are a demon's best friend. The entity loves you because you exist in the energy that they need in order to possess a body again. And so somebody has their body possessed so that they essentially can use the jinn that they have summoned, and the jinn is supposed to jump on the body of the earth angel, right? But this earth angel can clean themselves. They can remove negative entities and energies. They cannot be possessed. And so this person really wanted to experience some type of triumphant success. They wanted a victory. They wanted to achieve something. They needed a breakthrough to happen in their life, but they were up against a dagger. When I say a dagger, I'm talking about this earth angel has an inner warrior. They have a bravery to face their fears. They are determined to overcome any obstacle. And so the energy of an earth angel for periods of time can negatively be impacted, which is why it is so important to know thyself. You must know when your thoughts are being infiltrated. You must know when your emotions, or you just gotta know when your body is not reading as it naturally and normally does. And so some people only know themselves when they get to the consequence. Like they literally have to be sitting in a state of affliction, delusion, and suffering to recognize the quality of their choices. Like they gotta be in pain. We literally have that this person is sitting in bad health. They are going through physical and mental pain. Their well-being is not at its optimal level, and they're only recognizing that they made a lower level decision, but they had to be knocked in the head. Like, do you understand? Like, their health had to suffer. These are people who don't know their self. They know their ego. They know their desires, right? Like, they know that. But like, they don't understand the purest or the most enlightened version of themselves. They don't understand the wisest part of who they really are. Now, I also have the energy of divination. Now, when we're talking about divination, we're talking about some type of gained insight with the help of a supernatural power or supernatural communication. And so this person is kind of reflecting on the level of divination that they used in order to get to the penthouse. And when I'm talking about reflecting, it's like they're finally taking time to think, evaluate, and it's like they're giving serious thought to their behaviors, their attitudes, and their desires, but it is only because they can't move. It is only because their body is rebelling and rejecting them. Do you understand? Like, some people literally do not know themselves until they first suffer the consequences of their choices, their actions, and their decisions. I have a card here that it's called the pumpkin patch. And this card talks about the richness of life's experiences. It's not only about the harvest, but it's about the wisdom of your choices. And so everybody wants to live a penthouse type life. Now, we are all born on different floors in this apartment building. Like, we're all born on different floors. And naturally, we would all like to ascend to a version of life that shows us that we have arrived or made it. Now, this doesn't have to be because we physically possess things, but I'm really talking about an energy or a vibration. We would all like to ascend beyond our grief, our fear, our doubt, our worry, our sadness. And every time we step in the elevator of choice, whether we use our higher or our lower self, it determines whether or not we are rising up or lowering ourselves down in that apartment building. And so some people literally have to get to the basement again and again and again. And the basement looks like your mind is failing you. Your body is failing you. Your finances, your relationships. Some people will only know themselves because of their affliction, their delusion, and their suffering. And so whoever thought that they could possess an earth angel by summoning a jinn or an entity is recognizing that they wanted a harvest, but the harvest that you so badly want to experience first has to come because of the wisdom of your choice. And so this very new beginning that this person was going after, it was never going to become because their choice had no wisdom. They wanted a fresh start. They wanted a chance to begin again. They wanted a clean slate. But you literally went to the gutter. You went to the basement thinking that if I get to this basement is going to help me get to the penthouse. That jinn will never make it to the penthouse. It doesn't have the rank, the status, the power. It can't even tell you what it's like to live in the penthouse. But when your lust and your desire is so loud and so strong, you are willing to take any route. You're willing to use any spell. You know what I mean? You will go to anybody in order to get what you really desire. But I'm telling you that there are some beings that you are coming up against that are divine. They are divine in mind, body, spirit, and nature. Yes, they are human in front of you, but I'm telling you, whatever dwells inside of that vessel is stamped and owned by the Most High. And so if you belong to the Most High, I'm telling you that you can clean yourself, you can restore, you can purify, and you can cleanse. And so earth angels, most times we learn to know thyself. When an earth angel knows thyself, when you move against them in any way, you are taking a risk. You are rolling a dice and you are taking a chance. Yes, you recognize that they have a privilege, they have an advantage, and they have some type of opportunity that the average person doesn't have. They do have favor, but it is because they have a job to do. And so if you interrupt their job, if you interrupt their path because of your greed or your desire or your longing, there are consequences that are so deep. And the consequences sometimes get so dark. Some people are only able to reflect and really see themselves once they sit in their darkness. Some people wouldn't even think that they have a shadow. And so this is the earth angel's job also. They are either going to help you ascend to the penthouse, or the earth angel is going to send you to the basement. But you have a choice in where you go. You have a choice of what happens when you get inside that elevator. When you step into the energy of the earth angel, you have free will. Am I going to increase my floors? Am I going to increase my vibration or my frequency? Or am I going to be overcome by the sound of my own greed? That every time I push an elevator button, I'm really dropping in level, I'm dropping in rank. Some people will only know themselves when they get to the basement, but they got to sit in the basement. They may have to live in that basement for a few years, for a few months. They may have to lose everybody, because everybody ain't gonna be living in no basement with you. If you live in the basement, that's fine, but I'm just really talking about an energy or a frequency. Okay, y'all, so that is this reading. And so if you know of somebody who misused you energetically, this somebody they were willing to risk it all. They were willing to risk it all, but they also exposed themselves to danger, harm, and loss. And so right now they are in the energy of suffering because they recognize the gravity of their own delusion. All right, y'all, I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.